My name is Justin Melton. I am a former professional basketball player turned business owner. I think prior coming into the retreat, I was kind of going through a lot as far as a career change and relationship-wise. A lot of things just seemed to be pretty heavy on me. I feel like coming into the retreat, that was kind of my motivation. I just really felt like I needed something at that point in my life. I was open for anything at that point. And my mind was all over the place. I was pretty chaotic inside, anxious, depressed at the same time. And again, a lot of things just coming in at once. Mentally, I wasn't in a healthy place. I've often had negative thoughts just about life and purpose, direction, that really weighed on me during my day-to-day, especially going through like a career change and starting new things such as a business and figuring out how to navigate through that. There's a lot of ups and downs. Prior to the retreat, I really struggled with direction and purpose. Honestly, I don't know if I should say it might be pretty dark, but even thoughts of being here. So there's a mindset of being a perfectionist when it comes to being an athlete. You want to do everything perfect, has to be perfect. If it's not perfect, then you failed. For the longest time too, this idea of perfectionism is what drives you as an athlete. Because when you think about it, the times where you don't perform perfect as an athlete, your whole world breaks. For the non-athlete looking into it, it's just a game, it's just a fun match competition. But to an athlete, it's a lifestyle. You literally practice years for moments in a game, and when those moments don't turn out the way you want, everything breaks. Your world breaks. You get depressed. You look for other outlets that aren't necessarily healthy for you, whatever that might be. So after the retreat, what I really noticed was that anxiety that comes with, those negative thoughts and those questions that you have completely wiped away, which is I'm really thankful for. Conversations with my batchmates also, that seemed to be the common denominator. It's the anxiety it's gone, which is a huge weight off of my shoulders. Also, when it comes to negative thoughts, I can see what they are and I'm able to kind of nip them right away, not allowing them to have any type of power over my thoughts and myself. So one of the major things, I felt more clarity, more direction, and I felt more stable mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. My relationship with myself now, I am a lot more patient and kind. I definitely had triggers or stresses even after the retreat, and thankfully I was able to use some of these tools kind of bring me down to a stable place mentally and emotionally to make decisions or have hard conversations. Prior to the retreat, I think I would have handled certain situations a little differently. I think I would have made decisions more from an emotional standpoint or not thinking clear. I think that's the huge difference before and after the retreat. I think one activity that really helped was the breathwork, and that has allowed me again to kind of take a second to gather myself before I make any decisions or combat any triggers that might come out during the day. The breathwork really helped physically slow you down, and then also mentally. Going back to conversations that I've had with other males when it comes to mental health. If you're vulnerable or you're not okay, to admit that you're not okay, it's almost like a sign of weakness. Over time, I just kind of I was wired to just deal with it on my own. I think part of it too is being an athlete. You are taught one way, and that's just to tie your shoes up and deal with it. And that approach doesn't necessarily cover all of the emotions. It is not a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of something's really wrong with you. We all go through it. We all have our own, things that we're dealing with. And nowadays, it's important to be able to express it and talk within a safe environment. Honestly, I didn't expect to be so vulnerable just to begin with. I'm not that type of person who is used to just expressing things. I'm more of the I can do it on my own type of person. only until I can't. And then that's when I'll express or be vulnerable. Oddly enough, I always thought being vulnerable was a sign of weakness. But when I actually got there, I was encouraged to be as vulnerable as I could, just because that's the time where everything comes to the surface. That's the time where you have to confront these things. So yeah, I was kind of shocked at myself to begin with, to be as vulnerable, completely vulnerable as I was. I think one important thing, or one really cool thing, is the bonds that you actually create through the retreat with the facilitators, who provide just safety and security, during this time of vulnerability. So you do form really cool bonds with facilitators as well if you have batchmates. And I felt extremely safe through the whole retreat. As hard as it was sometimes to be vulnerable, I'd say the environment too played a big part. The location, it's a beautiful space, quiet, there's no distractions. So it is, again, just you, yourself, your thoughts, and then your new friends, new bonds that you make. The aftermath, so even after the retreat, it's really cool how the facilitators are reaching out to you, checking on you, and helping you to navigate now that you are back in the real world. They're there still also to kind of help you continue to grow and continue to move forward. So that's really cool also. I've had conversations with people who've noticed a difference. One specifically was my mom. She knew I was going to the retreat, and we had conversations afterwards, and she was happy for me. And she did say I seemed a lot lighter. I looked a lot lighter, which I was. I'm thankful just to be alive and continue to experience life through my lens. After Hiraya, I really was really motivated and just, again, grateful and thankful just to be alive. That's really dark, but it's true though. Yeah, no, I would definitely recommend the retreat. For me specifically, it was for healing and also direction and clarity. So if, again, you're someone who is struggling with this or having thoughts about these things, going to a retreat like Hiraya allows you to really address some of the harder issues in life that we might need help, and that's okay. Absolutely go for it, do it, because it's a life-changing experience. It's catered to you specifically. So whatever it is that you might be struggling with, and you need extra hands that you can trust, you need a safe space to confront these things, Hiraya is definitely the place to do it.